Landlords are warning tenants don't vote for Bring Home Chicago bill. So what is this? What is Bring Home Chicago? So if you look at Chicago's biggest moneymaker, it's going to be commercial real estate. Not that recently it's been doing well. In fact, commercial real estate in Chicago is so bad that you probably don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Sales are down 44% and prices are down in some areas 90%. And we're talking about the Loop area, but it's going to be taxing property sales and transfers over $1 million, which in big cities like Chicago, New York, Miami, $1 million is pocket change. Every single building, condo, unit is going to be a little over $1 million. So this is what's happening here, and this is what's making a lot of landlords and business owners mad. Essentially, Chicago wants to tax that. They want to increase the transfer tax by a lot, so much so to the point that many landlords are warning, do not vote for this. Okay, Group Fox Management threatened rent hikes if real estate transfer tax passes. This is freaking out many investors in Chicago, and people don't really get why Chicago is doing this. If the commercial office market and the residential market is super hot, let's say sales are up like 50% compared to a year ago, then it makes sense to add in like a transfer tax, stamp duty, whatever to cool the market and at the same time make some money for the city. But it doesn't make sense when you have down sales 44%. You have prices down literally 90% in some areas in the Loop, which is famous for business and tourism. We're not talking about the bad part of Chicago. We're talking about like the really good part of Chicago where the skyscrapers are. And this is a fantastic building, almost 15 stories tall. And they sold for just $4 million, literally at $16 a square feet. That is so bad. Suburban cities, like just my city, under 300,000 population, homes go for like $150 to $200 per square foot. In Chicago, such an enormous city, is going for $16. So yes, no wonder many landlords are saying prices of commercial real estate and residential real estate have already dropped like a rock. And now you're going to be adding in even higher taxes. It doesn't make sense. If Chicago real estate is hot as Singapore, where many billionaires and millionaires are buying homes there, absolutely add in the stamp duty. Singapore's real estate market is so hot that they're making racks off of it. The government is implementing a 60% stamp duty fee, which means that if you want to buy real estate there, you're going to have to pay 60%. So $1 million would be $1.6 million, and that $600,000 goes to the government of Singapore. They're making a lot of money off of it. And that's how you're supposed to do things. Same thing's happening to places like LA. They have this crazy stamp duty for mansions, and now mansions aren't selling, and many developers are kind of screwed. Now we have many landlords and businessmen saying, do not do this. Now, a few reasons why New York and Chicago are doing all sorts of different tax stuff is because they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, like New York City, on the migrant crisis. New numbers shows that the city has spent almost $200 million on migrant-related vendors from October 2022 to this year. This also does not include costs of city agencies and the work on the migrant mission, and doesn't really add in factors like schooling or health insurance, for example. This is getting very expensive, guys, and no wonder Chicago needs funds. And Chicago voters will get to decide whether the city council should have power to hike taxes on sales of very expensive properties. And we're going to be seeing this. Seems like a lot of Chicago residents are pretty down for this. But I feel like if you think long term, this will absolutely destroy Chicago. Chicago's going downhill, and implementing this tax will pretty much be a massive turnoff for any sort of real estate development in the near future. And guys, it's 2024. People are not chained to a certain city anymore like it used to be. Many people are moving to tax-friendly places and business-friendly places like Florida, Texas, and Nevada. People are now avoiding places like Chicago, New York, and basically all of California. It seems like times are changing, and even Ken Griffin, CEO of Citadel, long moved away from Chicago in 2022, and he's enjoying his time in Miami by a lot, even saying that Miami will one day take over New York City as the biggest financial hub in America. And Chicago, even the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is making Chicago rich and famous, is thinking about leaving. They don't have to stay. And with real estate prices plunging and, of course, implementing a heavy transfer tax, the amount of sales in Chicago is about to go to the rock bottom. In fact, there's probably no development. In fact, construction is at an all-time low for Chicago, and many real estate developers are actually avoiding the area altogether. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below, and see you later.